Okay. Thank you for the heads up.
I hope you can. I hope we can talk last time. I hope we can. pen in their council desk.
The May 9th, 2016 meeting of the City of Danville Planning Commission is now called to order. We welcome everybody here to the meeting today. The Planning Commission is an advisory board to the Danville City Council and is comprised of members who serve on a volunteer basis. Today we have 4 items to consider, for which there will be a public hearing, and 2 items not for public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak for or against the case may do so at that time. After the public hearing, Commissioner members may have questions for staff or for those who have spoken for or against a requested change. The Planning Commission will review the case relative to the City Code and make a recommendation to forward to City Council. Council will consider these meetings at their June 7th meeting. Let's see, we've got that. All right, Ms. Lancaster, you can call the roll, please.
Mr. Scarce?
Here.
Mr. Dotson?
Present.
Mr. Garrison?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Evans? Here.
Okay. The first item, I'm going to hold that off for a little while. The applicant is on his way but got detained, so we'll go to the second item first, which is a special use permit application, PLSUP 2016-0000-116, filed by River District Lofts, LLC, requesting a special use permit to have multifamily dwellings as a principal use in accordance with Article 3K, Section C, Item 10, the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, as amended at 549 High Street. The applicant is proposing to redevelop the building into 23 loft-style apartments. We could have a staff report.
A request has been filed by River District Lofts, LLC, for a special use permit to build multifamily dwellings as a principal use at 549 High Street. The property is being redeveloped into market-rate loft-style apartments. The subject parcel, built as a tobacco factory in 1876, is zoned Central Business Commercial and sits upon a .46-acre lot. The applicant is proposing to redevelop the vacant building into 23 loft-style apartments. The building will consist of 17 one-bedroom apartments, 4 two-bedroom apartments, and 2 studio apartments. There will be no commercial space on the ground floor of the building. The subject parcel, located within the River District, was approved by the River District Commission in May 2015 to have exterior alterations necessary for the redevelopment of that building. It included the demolition of the northeastern portion of the subject parcel that was failing structurally. The facade of the demolished portion will remain and will enclose the 25-space parking lot. 16 notices were sent to surrounding property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, and a complete report is in front of you. The subject parcel is currently vacant and is in poor structural condition. Staff believes that the redevelopment will be a benefit to the property and to surrounding properties as well. Staff recommends approval of special use permit application PLSUP 2016-0000-116 by River District Lofts, LLC, for the operation of multifamily dwellings as a primary use on the condition that the apartment building is limited to 23 units.
Okay, thank you. I'll open the public hearing now. If there's anyone wishing to speak on this item, can come forward.
Hello, my name is Corey Teague with the City of Danville's Economic Development Office. The developer was not able to make it today, but I'm happy to answer any questions about this project.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners on this item?
I have one question. It says there's not going to be commercial development on the first floor. What is going to be on the first floor?
The entire building will be residential.
How many levels will there be?
I believe there are 4 levels. I believe.
With an elevator?
There should be an elevator inside, yes, sir.
It's required to have an elevator, Mr. Judge.
Okay, I thought it was, but I wasn't.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Anyone else wish to speak on this item? Anyone else? Okay, I'll close the public hearing and see if we have a motion. If not, no more discussion. Mr. Garrison.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of special use permit application PLSUP 201600000116 with conditions per planning, as submitted.
Okay,
Second.
got a second? And we could have a roll call. Yes?
That included the condition we
Well-
recommended with the 23 units, or?
Let's change that then to say with conditions per staff.
Okay.
I'll second that.
That was not an option that was on here. I was thinking that was what was here, and I started reading it and realized it was the wrong thing.
Okay.
Per staff.
Thank you.
And we have a second now. Mr. Jones. Okay. And roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Scarce,
Yes.
Mr. Garrison,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Dotson,
Yes.
Okay, we'll go back and take the first item now. First item is rezoning application PLRZ 2016-00000121, filed by Gus Dyer, request to rezone from OTR, Old Town Residential, to AR, attached residential parcels ID number 50393 and 50394. The applicant has proposed to rezone to allow for consolidation and development into a duplex. If we could have a staff report.
A request has been filed by Gus Dyer requesting to rezone parcel IDs 50393 and 50394 from Old Town Residential to attached residential. The applicant is proposing to consolidate the parcels so that they may be developed into a duplex with ingress and egress on Westover Drive. On April 11, 2016, the applicant, Gus Dyer, filed a request to rezone 3 parcels for development into apartments, which the City Planning Commission tabled until more information could be provided. Subsequently, the request was withdrawn and the new request for a duplex was filed. The resubmitted application does not include a rezoning of the 3.25 acre lot fronting Fairview Avenue. The total acreage of the 2 parcels is 1.14 acres. Presently, a single house straddles parcel IDs 50393 and 50394. The applicant has proposed to redevelop the lots into a duplex with 2 two-bedroom units. 4 parking spaces would be provided. The applicant is also the owner of Oak Park Villas, the attached residential units to the southeast of the subject parcels. 24 notices were sent to surrounding property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, and a complete report is in front of you. Staff does not believe that a duplex will have a substantial impact on the surrounding property owners. Staff recommends approval of rezoning application PLRZ 2016-00000121, filed by Gus Dyer, requesting to rezone from Old Town Residential to attached residential parcel ID numbers 50393 and 50394, otherwise known as Grid 0715, Block 011, parcels 000006 and 5 respectively of the City of Danville, Virginia zoning district map.
Okay, thank you. Open the public hearing now for anyone wishing to speak on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Gus Dyer, the applicant. First of all, let me thank you for accommodating me in my tardiness. Things don't always run like they're supposed to. Basically, this is the same thing we discussed last month as far as the duplex. I think that probably in your package you've got a site plan, you've got a front elevation, you've got a floor plan. One thing I would like to point out is that the main reason that I'm requesting a duplex as opposed to 2 single-family houses, which could go on this lot, is that by doing the duplex, that allows for egress to the rear of the lots, which would then give me egress to the larger parcel on Fairview Avenue. These are actually 2 lots, and so you could actually build 2 housing units on each one. And also, zoning code, once we build the duplex on these 2 lots, that's all that will be allowed to be built on these 2 lots. We can't come back later and put more units on these two lots without subdividing them. So
Okay.
I just wanted to point that out. If y'all have any questions.
Okay. Do I have some questions from Mr. Dyer?
Right there where you, what you just said. So, once how many actual buildings do you see being built on this?
One.
And
On these two lots, the two lots that are subject today for the rezoning. Because I'm not
Right.
asking you for anything on the triangular piece.
right, I understand, but on this one extended lot,
Right.
just one
One building with
duplex.
2 units, right. Code under AR, code allows for a duplex, but
Right.
only a duplex. The irony is that I could do a fourplex and I could do 2 fourplexes and have a total of 8 units, but by doing a duplex, that's only 1 duplex is allowed on these 2 lots. And like I pointed out, these are actually 2 lots, whether they're combined by use, they're ultimately subdividable anyway, and so I could do 1 house here and 1 house here, only that would not allow me the area for the driveway to get to the rear of the lot, which will allow me to access the property in the back.
Okay, so once you build the one duplex, will you have a road running all the way,
That's to be determined.
Okay. depending on the use of the other property?
Right.
Okay.
Right. In other words, code actually requires that if I access the triangular piece of property through either of these 2 lots, they have to be zoned the same. I can't leave this OTR and have a driveway that'll come down and attach to attached residential AR.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this a significant reduction from the apartments you were talking about? How many apartments were you talking about previously?
That's been withdrawn.
I know, I'm just asking the question.
Well, it was a 16 during the proposal, but no, that's not.
And you're okay with,
Huh?
and you're okay with reducing it to this?
Well, it still gives me an opportunity to develop that property at a later date. I'm just not in a position now. I mean, I know you all don't think it's a significant investment, but I talked to Keith at Walden, and he told me he spent $40,000 on getting site plans drawn up for Stewart Street. And so I'm not in a position right now where I can pursue that project at this time.
So this, all we look at zoning is just one building, one duplex on these 2 lots.
Right.
Any other questions? Did you have another one? Anything, anybody else?
One question, Stan. Is that a condition that the planning commission states, or is that in the application, just the one duplex?
It's in the code. So
Okay.
on a rezoning, you can't put conditions on, only the applicant can proffer them. Since it's already in the code, we weren't requesting anything of the applicant. This is just a straight
Okay.
rezoning.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else got any questions or wish to speak on this matter? Okay, I'll close the public hearing and look for any motions or any more consider. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I recommend approval of rezoning application PLRZ 2016-0000-121 as submitted.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. And a roll call, please.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Scarce?
Yes.
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, third item on the agenda, special use permit application PLSUP 2016-0000-117, filed by Brian Lee, requesting a special use permit for the operation of agriculture in accordance with Article 3B, Section C, Item 1 of the Code of City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended at parcel ID number 75546. The applicant is proposing to run a non-commercial agricultural operation at the site. If we could have a staff report.
A request has been filed by Brian Lee for a special use permit for agriculture on parcel ID number 75506. The applicant is proposing to operate non-commercial agriculture on the property. The subject parcel, located on Gaither Road, is zoned threshold residential. It is an 18.01 acre parcel with no improvements. The parcel is currently owned by William Miles, and the sale of the property to the applicant is subject to the issuance of a special use permit for non-commercial agriculture. The applicant is planning to purchase the lot so that he may build a single-family resident on the parcel. He also intends to build a barn and keep livestock and a vegetable garden. The definition for agriculture, Article 15, Section B, Paragraph 12 of the zoning code, limits livestock and poultry to no more than 1 form of livestock or 5 poultry for every 3 acres. The applicant has proposed to keep up to 3 beef cows, 2 swine, 2 horses, and between 10 and 15 chickens. The applicant plans to build a fence around the parcel, or around the property containing any livestock. 10 notices were sent to surrounding property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, and a complete report is in front of you. Staff does not believe that non-commercial agriculture will have a substantial impact on surrounding property owners. However, staff is concerned that even on 18 acres, the land may become overly eroded if too many livestock animals are kept. Staff is also concerned about noise, odor, and manure storage. Staff recommends approval of special use permit application PLSUP 2016-00000117, filed by Brian Lee for the operation of agriculture with the following conditions. 1, the number of grazing animals shall be limited to no more than 6 at any one time, so that each animal has 3 acres of grazing land. The number of poultry shall be limited to a maximum of 15 poultry, and no roosters shall be kept on the property. No swine shall be kept on the property, as they are prohibited by the code of the City of Danville. All livestock must be kept at a minimum of 50 feet from private wells. If animal waste is to be stored or snacked, it must be done so at least 50 feet away from property lines and 250 feet from private wells. And livestock and poultry must be confined within the property by a fence.
Okay, thank you. I'll open the public hearing now for anyone wishing to speak on this item. Can come forward. Thank you. Hey.
I'm Brian. I'm looking at buying the property. My intent is to hopefully have a subsistent or semi-subsistent piece of land that I can live on and limit how much money I spend at grocery stores or wherever. As far as the conditions, I don't have any real problems. I would ask that we try to amend or make a concession to the no roosters shall be kept on the property. I don't have a problem with no roosters, because roosters aren't, adult male roosters are the ones that make the noise. The young ones, 6 or 8 months, they're not a rooster until they get to breeding age. I don't have any intention of having any noise-making animals on the property. I don't want to be woken up by them either. But I would like to be able to have chickens for eggs, and then also chickens for meat. But as far as the conditions, other than that, I have no problems
Okay.
with them. I accept them. That's fine with me.
Okay. Some questions from the commissioners? Well, let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on that, staff? Could we put an age limit on the roosters or something?
Well, generally speaking, you normally butcher them off at 6 to 8 months. They don't become mature until a year or a little more. You know, roosters are generally considered what's generally considered as adult male chickens. You know,
So you're not going to have adult male chickens?
I don't want the noise either. I don't want to be woken up by a cock-a-doodle-doo.
You would just have male chickens?
well, they're called chicks, is what they are. Okay. You know, it's like if you go to the grocery store and you buy a chicken,
right?
It's a male chicken. You know, it's a young chicken. You know, I don't have any intention of having any. Like I said, I don't want to be woken up by them either.
Okay.
There must be a reason why. Do we need to wait and ask questions of staff later?
No, I think while he's here is fine, because he may have something he wants to say.
I mean, obviously, there's a reason why we have a no roosters should be kept on the property. Is that in our code? Is that in those guidelines? I know we dealt with this several months ago. What's the reasoning behind that? He's asked for, can we loosen that?
The reason that we said no roosters was mainly for the noise to surrounding property owners. That was our main concern. The code does not say anything about roosters or chickens, just that their numbers should be limited to 5 per every 3 acres. So it doesn't say anything about noise. That was a concern of ours, because this is this was added to the code recently. We haven't really done anything like this. So this is really the first case. It's the kind of the test.
Well, is there a way that we could put something in our decision that goes to city council that would, if there were difficulty with noise, like from neighbors, and they made a complaint or something, that, you know, he then would have to like remove whatever the definition of rooster is.
That's an enforcement nightmare.
I don't have a problem accepting the conditions as stated. I was just hoping maybe I could get a concession on the chickens. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can't.
Well, okay.
Well, so in other words, what you want to raise is male chickens, not
No,
roosters.
I want to raise both. I want to have hens for eggs.
No, I know that, but I mean, of this issue, you're not calling what you're raising roosters.
That's correct, because when you buy chicks, whether it be egg-laying hens or whether they be for meat,
Right.
egg-laying hens are not good eating, they really aren't. So, or whether you buy them for meat, you buy them and they're about 3 days old. And normally you butcher them off within 4 to 6 months. Because you don't want, no, you don't, they're not good eating once they become mature, once they become breeding age. So you butcher them off long before they get to that age. You know, my purpose is to have it for food,
Right.
not for a petting zoo.
Right, right.
But once we make a decision, it really sets precedent for others that might want to come and do this, correct? So, I mean, that's why we have to.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. I think if we distinguish, he's not having mature males, which would be called roosters, which would go cock-a-doodle-doo, you know. He's just saying he's gonna have male chicks, and they would be consumed and used before they get to the adult age.
Correct.
So they would not, therefore, I guess technically you wouldn't have a rooster win, would you?
No, but
It's a fine line.
Yeah, you know, there's a gray area there, you know. Some people call it potato, some people call it potato. I mean,
Yeah. Well, we can either just scratch it and just allow them to have roosters. It's a pretty rural property, even though it is in the city. What's your thoughts?
Chickens don't have birth certificates, so from an enforcement issue, I'll never be able to tell whether it's a year old or not. That's why I said it's an enforcement nightmare. We just, again, as she said, this is new to us as well. You know, I'm an urban planner. Ms. Levi's fresh out of grad school and trying to give me some new ideas, so we're working on this. This is kind of her case. And we just put it because of the noise. While it's rural, there are properties around it. There's a house across the street. There's the apartment complex and others, which are, if you look at the photo, are really within sight of that photo. And the property's been denuded, it had been recently clear cut, so sound is going to travel in that area. We were just concerned with the noise and what they would do on the surrounding property.
well, the property across the street, Mrs. Rose, she won't swarm back there anyway. But like I said, I'm fine with the conditions.
That's why, if you want to allow roosters, we could, you know, if we don't get any complaints, then we'll know next time. We were
Right.
hedging on the
Just
side of
find something
caution.
new.
So.
Okay, well, I guess it's up to you, your pleasure, whatever you want to address. If you want to just scratch that, you can. If you want to,
Well, I mean, since he said he's acceptable to these conditions, and this is a recommendation from these folks that actually think about it, I'm just kind of leaning to just go with the recommendation there.
okay.
It sounds like he says he's fine because they're not going to be making the noise, because even the male chickens won't be making the noise because he'll have slaughtered them.
Oh, yeah, they'll be gone.
And either eating them or put them in the freezer before they get to that point, so.
Okay, all right, well, that's fine. If you can work with this, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't have, like I said, the roosters thing's not gonna be a deal breaker for me. I just wanted to get clarification on
Okay.
what is or isn't, you know. I mean, technically, they're not a rooster until they're adult.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. I think we've covered it.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Any other questions?
And you're okay with 6 grazing animals, no more than 6?
Yeah, because if I have 3 cows and 2 horses, they'll be pets. If I kill 1 cow off a year, I can't eat more than 400 pounds of beef in a year, and that's about what, you know. Generally speaking, you don't, beef, once it gets too old, it gets tough and it's not the best tasting. So you kill them off when they're 9, 10 months old, you know. So yeah, I don't have a problem with 6. In other words, I can't eat 3 cows, more than 3 cows in a year anyway. So between me and my family back up in Lynchburg that I'd give food to, I mean, more than 3 would be,
Okay. So
they'd be pets at that point.
Okay.
And I'm not looking to have a pet.
Do you have a question, Mr. Jones?
Have you been doing this all your life? I mean, this is not new to you.
Mix and match. I give you my background. I was raised on a farm from about age 2 to 14, something like that. Then my dad got transferred and other things.
So you had to feed the chickens and everything else?
Well, the cows, the chickens. And then as I've gotten older, through my adult years, in different relationships and different things I've done, I've traveled all over the country. I've been dude ranch, worked dude ranches out west. Lived in Alaska for 6 months working on a homestead. So yeah, I've got experience doing this. And my goal at 44 years old, I drive a tractor trailer, and I don't have any desire to drive till I'm 70. So this will give me, at the price that I'm getting it for. And the fact that I did construction for 15 years or so before I started driving tractor trailer. And so I can build the stuff myself, basically. Shive the electrical and HVAC, you know, so when I'm 49 or 50, I like to come off the road and go drive for Davis Warehouse or somebody local and just live my peaceful little life.
Okay.
As far as the animals are concerned, realistically, I'm still, if I were to close on June 13th, which is the plan, I'm still 2 to 3 years before I'd have any animals. I mean, because one, I'm only here 6 to 8 days a month because of my job. Mm-hmm. So with me trying to do this on my own, it'll take me 2 or 3 years to get the fencing put up, to get, you know, so I'm still 2 or 3 years from, but I wanted to get the permit contingent on, I didn't want to buy the land and then have to worry about coming here.
Right.
You know,
That's very wise.
so realistically, I'm still 2 or 3 years from putting any animals on the land anyway. I mean, you got about 5,000 running feet of fence I'm gonna have to put on, which is a lot of work. That's about 5,000 holes that I've got to dig. I mean, 500 holes I've got to dig. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, all right. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
yes, sir.
Anyone else wish to speak on this item? Okay, being none, I'll close the public hearing and look to you.
I'll do it. I recommend approval of special use permit application PLSUP 2016-00000117 per conditions of, with conditions per staff.
Per staff, okay. Have a second? Second by Mr. Garrison, and roll call, please.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrison?
Yes. Okay, next item, rezoning application PLRZ 2016-00000111, filed by Danville Redevelopment Housing Authority, rezoning, requesting to rezone from OTR, Old Town Residential, to TWC, Tobacco Warehouse Commercial, 502 Franklin Street. The applicant is proposing to rezone to allow for the operation of an office for the Ten River Redevelopment Housing Authority's home ownership program. We could have a staff report.
A request has been filed by the Danville Redevelopment Housing Authority to rezone 502 Franklin Street from Old Town Residential to Tobacco Warehouse Commercial. The applicant is proposing to rezone the property for the operation of an office for the DHRA's home ownership program. The .3 acre subject parcel is currently improved with a vacant building. In the past, it served as the headquarters of lot number 314 Tobacco Workers International Union. Most recently, the building served as an educational center. And it's located within the historic Tobacco Warehouse District, but is not considering a contributing structure since it was built after the period of significance. The Danville Redevelopment Housing Authority acquired the subject parcel in January of this year. They are proposing to use it as an office building for their home ownership program. 16 notices were sent to surrounding property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, and a complete report is in front of you. The subject parcel is located on the corner of Monument Street and Franklin Street. It is the only property at that intersection that is not zoned Tobacco Warehouse Commercial. The building was not constructed to be a single-family residence, so its present Old Town Residential zoning designation restricts the uses that can be on the parcel. Staff believes that the use as an office is a more favorable alternative for this building than continuing to sit vacant. Staff recommends approval of rezoning application PLRZ 2016-00001111, filed by Danville Redevelopment Housing Authority, requesting to rezone from Old Town Residential to DePaco Warehouse Commercial, 502 Franklin Street, otherwise known as Grid 2718, Block 014, Parcel 00003 of the City of Danville, Virginia zoning map.
Okay, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item?
Good afternoon. My name is Gary Watson. I'm the director of the Danville Redevelopment Housing Authority. And this is Kim Walker, our director of the homeownership programs for the Housing Authority. Housing Authority has had homeownership programs for quite a few years, located over in the Sealand Road District as part of our Hope 6 grant efforts. But in the last few years, we have partnered with the city in other areas for at least to purchase homeownership. And it's our plan to kind of expand the program to include more of the city. Actually, anybody can come in and, use the facility to get homeownership counseling and other kind of services related to homeownership. Ms. Walker, if you got any details exactly what she'll be doing there, she can answer any questions about that.
Any questions for him? Okay, all righty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Close the public hearing and look for a motion.
I have a question of staff.
Yes.
We have a comment from someone that says this appears to be spot zoning. Could you address that?
The area across the street is zoned for it already. Spot zoning is giving one property special privileges that aren't available to others or not in the immediate area. We've got the area, they're just adjusting the boundary from one side to the other, so we don't consider it spot zoning.
Well, you got on three sides, it's zoned the same, so I don't see where it's, okay. Any other questions? Or a motion, please? Anyone like to make a?
I'll make a motion. We approve rezoning application PLRZ 2016-00001111.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dotson. Who could have a roll call, please?
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes. Okay, next two items are not for public hearing. First one is acceptance of the 10,991 square foot right-of-way for creation of a cul-de-sac for Idlewood Terrace. We could have a board member.
Request has been filed to review a final major subdivision plat for the dedication of right-of-way for the creation of a cul-de-sac for Idlewood Terrace under the provision of the subdivision code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, is amended. The city is requesting right-of-way to create a turnaround for vehicular traffic. The staff recommends the Planning Commission grant approval of a final major subdivision plat for the dedication of right-of-way for the creation of a cul-de-sac for Idlewood Terrace under provision of the subdivision code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, is amended. There are representatives from the City Engineering Department in the back if anyone has questions regarding the plats.
Okay, well, it looks pretty straightforward to me. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, we could have a motion then. Go ahead.
I'll do it. Let's see. I move approval of the final major subdivision plat for the dedication of the right-of-way for the creation of a cul-de-sac for Idlewood Terrace under the provision of the subdivision code of the City of Danville, Virginia. Is that good enough?
That'll do it.
Okay, second? Second by Mr. Jones. If we could have a roll, please.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes. And the next one is acceptance of a 2,292 square foot right-of-way along Riverside Drive. We could have that report, please.
Request has been filed to review a final major subdivision plat for the dedication of right-of-way along Riverside Drive under the provisions of the subdivision code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended. The city is requesting this right-of-way to install a guardrail. Just to let you know, it's behind the YMCA. They want to relocate that guardrail slightly back, and we just don't have the right-of-way to do it. The staff recommends the Planning Commission grant approval of a final major subdivision plat for the dedication of right-of-way along Riverside Drive under the provision of the subdivision code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986, as amended.
Okay. Any discussion, questions? Not, motion?
All right, I'll do it again. Adopt a resolution approving a final major subdivision plat for the dedication of right-of-way along Riverside Drive under the provision of subdivision code of City of Danville, Virginia.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Okay. And roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes.
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Next item is the approval of the minutes from the April 11th meeting. Any corrections or changes to be made? Being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They pass. And any other business?
Yeah, we have a couple things, actually. The city council approved all the items that you had from last month carried over. Also, staff is gonna would request that you make a recommendation authorizing staff to amend some definitions in the zoning code and and I hate to say this out loud, look at modifying our sign code based on a recent Supreme Court decision. We think we need to go back and possibly change a few things in our sign code. So if I could get you to authorize staff to advertise changing some definitions. I've worked the past few weeks since the last planning commission with Mr. Dyer regarding some definitions in the zoning code that, based on his project, we think we should clean up. So I've got some proposals on some things that I think will make it easier on all of us in the future.
Sure.
So,
Can we just say do it, or we need to vote?
you need to,
Just a motion to authorize the advertisement.
Can we say so move?
Second? Second by Mr. Jones. You want to call a roll, or just?
Just a
vote?
voice
Just
vote,
voice.
do it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
also the American Planning Association Virginia chapter is having its conference in June at Wintergreen. I've got some money budgeted if anyone was interested in possibly attending that, so if so, let me know. Anna is going to go to it to represent the city, but if anyone else is interested in going and learning more things about planning, just contact me afterwards. And that's all staff has. There are cases for next month, so we'll plan on seeing you.
Okay, where are we at on, we're going to be looking into the parking changes again?
We're still working on that. And actually, this is sort of tying into it. The case that came before you today regarding the apartment complex, they have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals and ask for a variance to our requirements. We want to see some things at the Board of Zoning Appeals and then again come back. So all of these are sort of tying together.
Okay.
So.
Any comments? Okay, meeting adjourned.